Quite high. Doesn't look like much. This little thing on my belt is a air pollution monitor. So I'm going to try and find out what's happening in my area regarding the air quality. So NO2s, or the car gases, the dust particulates, and the other gases that are associated with sort of spray cans, smoke from fires, etc., etc. So more like factory and plants and building sites, all that sort of stuff. So let's go and see and have a look at what's the result. One of my local streets, which I use regularly, a bit less now, and it's not good. Right, you might not see very well from the... It's purple. It can't go worse than that. Basically, it's the top of what's acceptable. It's just unbelievable. This is a little street. It's not like in central London, millions of cars. But yeah, couldn't be higher. Absolutely shocked. Very interesting to see that there's a bus. There's a bus stop just there. Okay, I'm going to show you now the results of the little trip I made to the school. You will see what the pollution is inside, so here in my office, in my house, and then what happened when I opened the door and I started to walk outside and I picked up the kids as a school. And I came back home. So today it's quite windy, so we should have a bit less pollution than usual. We don't have that. So have a look at this. So we started here at a yellow level, which is a moderate average pollution rate, and it went up absolutely dramatically to the top. Let's have a look at the numbers on the screen. So it might not be exactly super sharp on the screen, on your screen, but it'll show you what's happened in a matter of like 10 minutes. So this is what happened today. What we're interested in is the little trip I made in the afternoon, and you can see the yellow level, which is average. It should be green inside really, but it's yellow for now. And you can see the peak as soon as I went out. This is the peak in the morning when I went to drop the kids at the school. Came down as obviously I came back home, and second peak when I went to go and fetch the kids. And this is the pollution right on the playground of school, outside on the pavement, and then walking back home. So in terms of numbers, I'm going to try and do this. It's not super easy to show, but NO2 is at 7, particulates, fine particulates is at 1 and 2, and the VOC gases at 21. 21 is actually quite high for these gases, but I'm going to show you now all the afternoon. It sort of stays at normal levels. NO2, which is the car gases, stays around 9, 10, 8, 7, so it's sort of acceptable. And then so that's when I came out of the house at about just before 3 o'clock, and you can see the NO2 now went to 166. I was actually on the street then, walking towards the school, and at 3:10, the NO2 gases are at 200. 200 for NO2 levels is as if you were on Oxford Street in central London. And this is just a normal street, a little local street. Nothing special about it. It really shows you that these gases just don't dissipate, even though it's a very windy day. Carried on, obviously coming back home, 178, slightly going down, and then opened the door and I arrived inside, and the gases went down to zero, which is normal really, inside, indoors, although I haven't got windows that filter the gas, but it stops the gas coming in. That's where we are. Not good news, obviously. Although it's quite positive to be able to have some more detailed and more precise measurements of what everyone sort of had an idea of, or just assumed it was this or it was that. But this little machine now, and it really is that small, it's incredible, which regroups sort of three main monitors, gases, dusts, and VOCs, which is this sort of spray paint and chemicals that you get from cleaning products. It has managed to miniaturize these three main sort of quite high-tech instruments into one, and just hook it on your belt, and it just follows you everywhere, and you can share that information then to others. And currently it's on yellow, which is average. I wouldn't say, or I wouldn't hope that my house had average pollution. I would have hoped that it had good air quality, but that's not the case. And I'm living on a dead-end street, so there's very few cars coming to my door. Again, it does show you that the gases just travel. You can have the biggest hedge, the biggest trees, the biggest garden, the biggest park. You'll get affected by not just the streets around you, but the whole area. And so we are close to central London. We are literally a mile and a half from the River Thames, and that's enough to give everywhere, wherever you are, however beautiful your garden or big it is, you're not protected. Really are not protected. The only way is obviously to be indoors, which sounds a bit crazy. Thankfully, it's where we spend most of our days, most of our time. But still, you could see here the VOC gases were at 20, so 21, 22. As soon as it reaches 20, whichever the pollution reaches 20, whether it's dust particles, NO2 gases, or VOCs, it triggers the ranking to average level. It then becomes red when it's above 50 or 60, I think, as very high, and then above 100 and I've got to check, but 150 I think, or 120, I can't remember, maybe 100, it goes to critical, so very high, meaning well, it's the worst you can have, really. These ratings, pollution ratings, are described by the World Health Organization. So it's not just these guys that have invented this that decided that it was bad, or it is a sort of worldly accepted limit, and so we've got to take it quite seriously. I feel more empowered now with this. I feel like when I'm going to go somewhere, I'm going to be able to check. When I say something, I can show to people, because people don't really accept it. They don't really want to see it, and that's the thing. And with this thing now, because I will listen, I'm not bullshitting, I'm not joking, this is serious. Look at my phone, or look at what I did yesterday, and look at the map. You can also see on the map where you went and what sort of pollution you were encountering along your trip. That gives you the actual lines of colours following you in your on the map. So this will give a lot of information to all of us, and information that we'll share online, obviously. And the more units and devices we have like this, the more the better the overall map of London, because this is about London, but anywhere. So then you'll be able to see on a map where to go, where not to go, or if you wanted to move out of where you are. And this is pretty much our case here. Our whole family wants to find good air, or even if you just want to do a jog, or a trip out with the kids, or whatever you want to do as outdoor activities, or if you are traveling, commuting every day, what's the street to take, and what's the best way to lower the risks, because we know that we will not necessarily feel the pollution straight away, although sometimes you can, in the nose and the eyes, the irritations, the hay fever, it triggers that hay fever, or allergies. Long term, it's quite clear that air pollution is killing. Hopefully this will give us a bit more understanding and power over it, and it's a scientific based monitoring device, so we've got to follow it and we've got to accept it. This is what we have, and stop the denial, stop looking the other way and thinking, well, maybe we shouldn't look at this. Why shouldn't you? It's like, when you want to buy a good piece of meat, you want to know where it comes from. So in a way, I think it's all about knowledge. Informed knowledge can get you to decide to act and take control over your lifestyle and your life environment. As simple as that. So I think it's a big thing that's happening with this device. Online sharing with others. It's not that expensive. It might even go down as they sell more of these. I give it a great future, and I think it's going to be big in terms of the realization of what's going on, and politically I do hope that this will reach high levels, not just us, but councils and major deciders, lawmakers, as simple as that. And so that's why I'm sort of hopeful about it all, even though it's shocking and it's worrying for us simply. It makes me want to make things better and influence the change in a positive way. Right, that's it for me regarding the Flow Plume device, which I think is pretty amazing, and I hope you will either buy the item. I haven't got any shares with Plume. I think it's a great piece of technology. It's quite an advanced piece of kit, and the school which my kids are going to will have as well to check what the kids are actually breathing, and they can make their own decisions then. All right, cheerio, bye-bye.